Culture and moral development. So, culture plays also a significant role in shaping our moral development. In different societies, we have different moral codes. As you can see, or what we can watch from social media platforms, that there are foreigners that are having culture shock, or certain actions deemed rude for them, but it is very normal for the locals. So culture is derived from cultura or cultus, which means care or cultivation. As cultivation implies that every human being is a potential member of his own social group, endowed with certain innate qualities to make use. However, a person's inequalities, he or she cannot develop these innate inborn talents without other people. A person needs other people who can provide him or her with the needed opportunities, so he or she can translate these potentialities into realities. And this is what we call achievements. Because these achievements, accomplishments not only help a person achieve self actualization, but make a contributing member of his or her community. So, definition of culture from different personalities. Cole, a concept that refers to a broad, diverse collection of often intangible areas of social life. So, it encompasses the way people understand the world, interact with each other, construct a meaning. And this collection is often intangible areas, so it is rooted in ideas, norms, symbols that are passed down through generation. So it deeply influences tangible aspects of life, like language, art, architecture, or even social institutions. While for Zimmerman, characteristics and awareness of a specific community of people, including its language, religion, food, social behavior, etiquette, fashion, music, and the arts. So it refers to the distinct practices, behaviors, ways of life that define a group's identity. And these elements that was mentioned form a rich cultural identity that, again, specific of a specific community, distinguishes one community from another, while also contributing to the collective diversity of humanity. Lederach introduced culture as the collective knowledge and schemes generated by a group of people to perception. It shapes the perception of reality, convey and view and convey. So these schemes, collective knowledge, provides frameworks for interpreting information and react to the social realities around them. Or it guides behavior in a consistent and predictable manner. Because again, collective knowledge and schemes generated by a group of people to react, to guide our behavior in a predictable manner. Because by sharing this cultural knowledge, communities maintain social cohesion. Of course, develop strategies to cope with both familiar social realities. So ultimately, culture is not just a set of external practices. It is an internalized way of thinking and interacting with the world that evolves over time. But again, remains deeply rooted in collective experience. Influence of culture in moral development, always social and communal, by which the relationship of the people toward one another and their experience as people are the culture's meadow. So the laws, the norms, values, attitudes serve as the binding force to enhance relationships. And the culture was again being handed down from one generation to another, forms as well the morality of the generation. Yet, it may not be absolutely the same due to changes that would inevitably occur. Defines the normative principles and behaviors of society. What is, or the normal principles and behaviors to be maintained, preserved, changed for the benefit of the community. Defines, dictate how individuals should behave and interact with others. Develops restrictions and set boundaries and limitations as they live and relate with one another. Because these restrictions, boundaries serve as protection among themselves. Helps in generating the character and identity of its people. So this will be through norms, standards, because somehow culture conditions the mind, the way people think, they perceive the world, their relationship with one another. Identifies the authorities or the governing individuals. When we are in a family, we have the parents or guardian, leaders, or other social institutions contribute to our moral development. And overall, our exposure to different societies, their culture makes us aware that there are ways of thinking and valuing that are different from our own. That there is, in fact, a wide diversity of how different people believe it is proper to act. So, having this culture in moral development, we have cultural relativism. So, cultural relativism based on the idea that there is no absolute standard of good or evil. Right or wrong is individually decided in each society. So, no one society is superior to another. They are very different. And again, because cultural norms, values, according to cultural relativism, derive their meaning within a specific social context. Understand the culture on its own terms, not to make judgments using the standards of other culture. So, cultural diversity, appreciating that society is made up of many different groups with interests, skills, talent, needs. Then, culture imperialism, exercise of domination in cultural relationships, in which the values, practices, and meanings of powerful foreign culture are imposed upon one or moral native culture. So, it's just like moral imperialism. So, the advantage of cultural relativism. So, system which promotes cooperation. Since every individual has a different perspective based on their upbringing, experience, personal thoughts, embracing the many differences, the cooperation creates the potential for stronger society. Since again, each individual has its own definition of success. So it allows to pursue stronger bonds with one another and achieve more because there are no limitation from a group level of what can and cannot be accomplished. It creates a society where equality is possible, of course, to define their own moral code without defining the moral code of others. Can pursue a genuine interest. You get to pursue your own interest without restrictions. You again set the definitions of what you can have, what you cannot have. Respect is encouraged, creates a society without judgment. Of course, again, we are very diverse set of thoughts, ideas, practices. So, no judgment. Create personal moral codes based on societal standards with ease and stops cultural conditioning because people tend to adapt their attitude, thoughts, and belief to the people they are with on a regular basis. And this is, I think, this is cultural conditioning. It prevents people from having individualistic perspective. So, cultural relativism is not on this. So, the disadvantage creates a system that is fueled by personal bias. So again, when people are given the power to define their own moral code, then they will do so based on their personal bias. Sometimes they tend to prefer to be with others who have similar thoughts and feelings. Then it would create chaos. People who can follow their own moral code because there is no right and wrong. Like they would be allowed to pursue any life they prefer under cultural relativism. So, if you are upset with someone, then you can kill that person without consequence because our moral code allows for murder. It is an idea that is based on the perfection of humanity. Most people strive to do good every day or to pursue happiness. But the only problem is that people are not perfect. We can be aggressive at times or impulsive when we are in conflict. Say, if we don't have a group moral code to govern our decisions, anything could happen when we experience these moments. Limit humanity's progress. It will remove the ability to judge one standard from another. Like, again, someone might kill because, again, you cannot judge that person's killing because they are under the influence of culture relativists. Promote lack of diversity. It promotes individualistic point of view. Although it seems to promote diversity, it actually removes it from it. Because the only standards that are in place are those which are set by the individual involved. Which means everyone is pursuing his or her own position of strength. So, when it comes to reality, some businesses, companies, they can permit unfair wage, slavery. It is okay for slavery to happen. We cannot create diversity when the emphasis of society is individualistic gain that can come from the expense of others.